Hello, so today we're going to discuss The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, which is this book. They have many editions, but this is the one I have got, although this is not my favorite book cover, but it's okay as long as the content is pretty much the same. And so anyway, it's hard to talk about the book without touching on the writer itself, because as we all know, there are so many autobiographical details of Sylvia's life in the book. There's so many resemblance with Esther Greenwood, and you can't help thinking that this suicide attempt in the book was actually a personal account of her experience. This is probably the best book that I've read in 2016 because it is really interesting. It's just fascinating to read about how Esther's thoughts actually work. Like the way she thinks is just very interesting, because she did raise up a few topics like the way women are treated in her era and the expectations of the society, and how the people view people like her, you know, the one that has this certain mental illness like depression and any other mental disorders, you know, like how they just straight away label you as crazy just simply because of a few occasions where you just lost it. And I'm just glad to know that the world has progressed so much since the era itself, and how we are beginning to understand about mental disorders, how we have better treatments than electric shock therapy, where we now are having more efforts to treat women better, and that's just amazing. And it's just heartbreaking for me to read about how Esther is mistreated in the book, like mistreated by men, like that time when Doreen promised Esther, not Sylvia, sorry, but Doreen, Esther's friend, actually promised her that it's gonna be different this time, that they will go out with some bunch of guys and it will be totally different this time. It turns out to be a very bad experience for her because Marco treated her so badly, and Marco was such a woman hater, and it's just sad to see Esther being treated such way. You have to read that particular scene. It's just one of the reasons why it's hard for me to read the first half of the book. Just so many things I just can't handle reading. But the second half of the book was really interesting, because it started with Esther's suicide attempt, although it's quite sad to read how a suicide attempt might seem normal for her, like the way she talks about it, like, yeah, I'm probably gonna look for a razor and just gonna bleed myself to death in the bathtub, but then I can't. Later my mom came back before I actually finished, so maybe I should just hang myself, but then I don't know how to tie a knot, and then suddenly, okay good, I'm gonna get sleeping pills instead. And it's just so odd the way she talks about it, like it's just so normal for her to do so. Just wish I can be there for the character. I just wish I could be there. Just wonder how many people are going through the things that she is going through, and just wonder how we could help them. It's just so heartbreaking. And also, of course, we have other things like how you thought you're getting better, and then you actually went out. I mean, you get discharged and then you actually had to return to the asylum. Not necessarily talking about Esther's. It's about another character. It could be about any characters. I just don't want to give spoiler. Esther Greenwood actually kind of dates Buddy Willard, although she doesn't really like him, especially after the part where she found out that Buddy Willard actually had an affair with a waitress named Gladys, and she felt so much betrayed because it seems hypocrite that Buddy Willard acted so pure and innocent when in reality he actually had been sleeping with some woman. And like, it's not the fact that he slept with a woman that actually betrayed Esther, but it's the fact that he acted so pure, so innocent. And also this also reflects how the society view women, as in the women has to be pure for the man, but the man doesn't have to. And you know, this is a very common topic even now we're still dealing with this, and it's just wow. Yeah, so it's just fascinating to know how Esther actually think. It's not the fact that Buddy Willard slept around with a woman named Gladys, but it's the fact that he acted so pure and innocent and made Esther think that she has been keeping herself pure for a guy that doesn't even want to be honest about himself, about his own personality, about his character. Symbolism of the bell jar is very strong in the book, because it's not just the title of the book, but it also symbolizes the fact that Esther feels trapped within society's expectations, that you're expected to choose either to be a whore or to be a virgin, either to actually get married, have a husband, have a children, settle at home, or actually to have a career. And it's just not possible. It doesn't seem possible for women at that era to actually have both, unlike now where we actually can have both. I mean, I've seen so many successful women who are not just successful in their field, in their career field, but also a very good mother to their children, a very good wife. And it seems like at that era, society expects you to fit in just one mold. And I think it's very interesting to know that we has progressed so much since then, and I'm so glad that it's getting better and better from year to year. What also interests me about the book is that Sylvia, the writer of the book, doesn't try too hard to impress with, you know, with long convoluted sentences that rambles nowhere. You know, Sylvia doesn't even ramble here in the book. Every word are actually considered very carefully, and it's so direct and straightforward, yet still very much poetic. And it's just such a pleasant experience to read her book word by word, you know, because sometimes you see books where the authors just try too hard to impress and they just ramble on, and this book is just the complete opposite. The ending of the book may seem a little positive for Esther Greenwood, but we can't help thinking that, knowing how Sylvia's life ended, we can probably guess that Esther's story would actually be the same way, despite the fact that we are unable to read those pages because it ends way before that. And kind of affected me emotionally, because it's almost positive over here. It's kind of positive, but then you know there are pages, non-existent pages after this last page, that Esther also probably did not survive, just like Sylvia, because as you can see, there's so much resemblance. Well, can just Google what's the resemblance between the bell jar and Sylvia's life, and it's just so similar. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening, for watching. And this is my first time reviewing a book, and I hope I didn't give you so much spoilers. I hope you actually read the book before you watch this. Yeah, actually I hope you actually watch. So yes, thank you very much.